Hey yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Everybody Boys podcast. Again, last week was very unfortunate because my footage was corrupted and unfortunately the previous episode had to be delayed and canceled because of that, unfortunately. But this week, hopefully, we're toning it back down and doing the old-fashioned way, and we have the original trio with us today. We have Kiro and Caldwin with us today on our very, very special episode of the Everybody Boys podcast. We are going to be talking about RWBY today.
Yep.
Yep. Here we go. We're going straight through the shithole today, boys.
I feel like an old man, but
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like I went through like this post-traumatic stress disorder that I'm going off of.
Oh boy.
Because it's just a fucking ride.
oh boy,
Alright,
oh man, oh man, not again.
Alright, let's get started with some backstory first. Before anything. Obviously, the red trailer, the trailers. We started with the trailers. I know I did.
Yeah,
Iconic. Wait, what?
Iconic. The trailers are iconic that way.
no cap, really iconic.
Yeah.
Dude, I went back like a few weeks ago or something and rewatched the red trailer, bro. It was so
Oh
good.
my god.
Oh my god, Red Trailer was
Just
10
feeling
out of 10.
nostalgic.
Nostalgic.
Just feeling nostalgic.
All right. Let's get this out of the way first. When it comes to RWBY, in terms of just how good the show is compared to, other shows for the first few volumes, all right? What made RWBY special?
Probably combat, honestly.
The combat?
Freaking Monty Oom's style.
His style.
It was so
Yeah.
freaking sick.
The fact that it was low budget, but also turned out really good shit. That's probably a
The
factor.
fact that it put quantity over it put quality over quantity was it had such a great feel to it. It isn't trying too hard to have a story. It just went with the flow. And
Yeah,
and it's like
And the Rooster Teeth when they started it was kind of more like indie, so it definitely was more, I don't know.
it was right around the time when Red vs. Blue seasons 8, 9, and 10 were still releasing. So again, during that time, Monty was really pushing it in RVB and in RWBY too. So this man was juggling both RVB and his own personal works on top of RWBY. This man was
Yeah.
I think
the man was cracked.
the man was cracked beyond belief.
it was the animations from RVB that transferred over to freaking RWBY. That's what really got me into it was RVB, and then it's they're making RWBY. I'm
Making RWBY.
What's RWBY?
Oh, what's RWBY? Yeah. I first found out about RWBY on a random day. I was home and I had my iPod with me, and I had it downloaded on my iPod at the time because, again, I couldn't really watch that much YouTube, so I had it downloaded, and so I was like, I'll watch this at some point, and I ended up watching it. I really fucking like this. So I still have the iPod this very day, but it has all 4 of the trailers downloaded on my iPod.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's so wild to think that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Years.
So many
Man,
fun.
that's
They're still making it. and
Yeah, they're
it's-
still making it, which
Man, we're probably 10 years ago. We were probably babies back then.
yeah, we just had some the basic we have the iPod iPod 4, probably the first gen iPhones. Bro, man, oh Jesus Christ.
I think I just got internet maybe a year or two before
I
wild.
did not have internet at that time, so I used the school's internet to download the red trailer on my iPod because I would bring my iPod to school and I would just download it there.
Yeah, going to the library and stuff.
Yeah, going
and,
to the library. Yeah, that's what I did. I did that. That was great.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's what I did. All right. If anything, we could probably do a tier list for volumes 1, 2, 3. Just do a quick little tier list of
Wait,
everything. But
will 9 count, or we're just gonna take that out?
Volume 9, we will like not do like a tier list for. We'll just have it as like a not finished section yet. But
I
I am thinking about making a separate tier list for that. See what it works and doesn't work. But
yeah, all
we
right.
might do like a small little tier list of what we feel about RWBY as a whole, and just what we liked about it, and just what we didn't really like. But this first part, we're gonna like talk about what we liked and what we didn't like, as of as just RWBY's generally speaking. But I believe this tier list does not have volume 8 or 9. Let me double check.
Yeah, from what I'm looking here, it looks like it's only got the first 7.
Yeah, the first. Yep. Oh,
I
I have a. I think.
You have it
that's
up right now?
characters. I have it up for a number. We're gonna talk about RWBY as a whole, generally speaking. But
Alright, before. Yeah.
all right.
Oh, but yeah, I do. Again, RWBY as a whole was really great. Volumes 1, 2, and 3 were really cool. I love Volume 2's the Team Coffee fight. At the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of Volume 2. God damn, that's what I
Yeah.
love. I love Coco. Coco was one of my favorite characters at the beginning. Now it's completely changed to Velvet, because Velvet is like, she's a bunny girl. All right, let's be honest.
The Velvet at the end of season 3.
She became
Bro,
my
that
favorite
was
character,
so
bro.
wild.
Yeah.
That was so wild.
She became my favorite character, man. Velvet is the
Velvet
best.
just popped off.
Velvet is the
Velvet
best.
just
I love
popped
her.
off.
I love her.
Mhm.
I love her. I mean, if anything, like, what's really cool about RWBY is that kind of inspired a little bit of our group a little bit, because at that time we had again, if you didn't know this, we had a small Skype group at the beginning, and then it multiplied, and then it started to change. Then we went from Skype to Discord. And the original Skype group that we called it was RWBY styled, as you probably know, the initials and color coordinated, typically mostly the initials of the characters per se. But we ended up giving up on that because, as you probably already know, RWBY kind of changed once.
Yeah.
Yeah. After season 3,
After
yeah.
season 3.
Yeah, it kind of fell.
Yeah, it honestly, the worst part about that was that it completely changed after volume 4 and 5. That's when That's when people started to
Yeah.
see, like, oh shit.
They changed the animation style and stuff, or
Yeah. And the
I
fandom.
think
The fandom
I
as a
think
whole.
story.
The story as a whole, yeah, it started to take
Yeah.
a turn for the worse, because they started focusing less on animation and quality than they started focusing mostly on the story aspect, which I think it's an okay direction for them to change from the fights to storytelling. But if your storytelling and fight scenes are not as perfect or as good, then what's the point of switching direction? That's the issue that RWBY has right now currently, is that they're focusing all this effort into world building instead of focusing on what's important at hand, because they already have a world. They already have a really good world that they can work with.
yeah.
It's just that
Yeah.
their execution was very poor within these next few volumes, and just like, volume 5.
They also tried to
Yeah.
They also tried to add like way too much stuff. So like the maidens and stuff. Even in like season 3, like the maidens and stuff.
The
and
meetings
Yeah.
and the artifacts.
the
Artifacts.
magic system and stuff. Like
art-
they already had aura. They already had dust. Like
Yeah.
they made it just too complicated.
Yeah.
It's so confusing, because what's the strengths and weaknesses of dust compared to, magic in this case, in the show, obviously? Because again, with other anime, especially like Yu Yu Hakusho, for example, spirit energy versus demon energy, they're pretty much exactly the same, but it's for different species. It's literally that, but shittier. It's like, do we know the strengths of dust? Do we know the weaknesses of magic? Do we know the strengths of magic? Is magic unlimited? Do we have unlimited mana compared to dust? We have a limited supply of dust. Like, it's super vague. And also with the aura system, what's a character's strengths and weaknesses when it comes to their aura. We don't see a gauge. We don't see any scaling, especially because again, like characters like Jean, who have stronger aura compared to other characters in the show, they never really mention what their strengths and weaknesses are. Like again, like with RWBY with her hand-to-hand combat, that weakness is completely resolved by volume 6. That weakness is completely like it just disappears.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
It's like, definitively speaking, if you know how to power scale and work your characters, it's like there's a lot of balance out with this, and it's like it's one of those things that as a viewer of the show, I can, again, it's to criticize it. It's not necessarily to like give it bad taste or a bad thing. It's just how do you balance that? It's how you balance which is stronger and which is weaker compared to the other characters. And that is one of the biggest weaknesses that the show has. And what do you guys like about the show? Because we should probably get started with that.
Stop dogging on it.
Yeah.
Like the character design.
Yeah.
What, like 1 through 3, like that was like one of the big draws too. Was like these characters are super unique and they just pop.
They just
and
it's like if you see the silhouettes, you know exactly what character it is. Like you know like exactly who this character is.
Like
in the later seasons, I feel like though, like it has kind of dropped off a little bit too, or maybe just the character has gotten a little bit stale. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, character design wise, like throughout the season, they weren't too bad. I mean, the only thing I didn't like is like why is the gang dressed up with like a fucking potato sack?
The potato sack. I personally I really do not like the zippers on Blake, honestly.
No.
They were trying to go for like they were trying to go for like a punk like eco punk style for Blake's outfit, and it's just like it doesn't.
I mean, I can't deny that Weiss's outfit looks good. I can't deny that.
Like Weiss's outfit is probably like the best outfit for Volume 7 out of all the characters so far. Like honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still pretty terrible because of the hair. Oh god, the hair. It looks like someone sewed on extra locks of hair to her head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
I think like some of the characters also like they turn. I don't know. Who is it? Like they don't turn. It's like they start slowly going bad or something. I don't know. Like Ironwood, for example. Holy shit! Like
Ironwood,
my guy.
Ironwood built different, bro.
I mean, I get it. He's supposed to be a good guy, but come on, man. Really?
What do you think? What do you think is? I think the other best part of the show, what the show really does well on, is in terms of besides the fighting scenes and characters, is the references, the jokes that they play is pretty like the sudden jokes in the middle that like the references and stuff, like for example like Neon Cat from Volume 3 is a joke to Neon Cat, or even in this case like Velvet with the Velveteen Rabbit, Ruby Rose to Little Red Riding Hood. Like those illusions are pretty fun to mess around with, and I honestly really like that. But as we start getting into future volumes, like we don't see that as much when it comes to RWBY, and I think that when it comes to RWBY especially, that is one of the stronger strengths that they have, is giving them a unique background, like having them have this like unique space for them to be in. Because one of the things I don't like about storytelling, and sometimes people do this sometimes, but they make a character for the sake of the plot. That is one of the things I do not like about some people's stories, is they make a character and they just thrust them into this world and they can't interact with anything because nothing exists in their world.
Yeah.
But when you have like a world like RWBY, you have such an expansive world to the point of where you can make hundreds of characters, place them into different locations, and not have them interact with each other at all and still work.
Yeah, and like they kind of did that with like volumes 4 and 5, where like Blake was off doing her own thing pretty much, while the rest of Team RWBY was out there.
And and especially with the books, especially if you haven't read the books yet, After the Fall, Into the Fall, Before the Dawn, those books especially Roman's book is really good. If you have not give that a good read, that's a pretty good read. Um, but especially with Team Coffee and Team Sun interacting with Vacchio, especially, that is really fun, and it's really fun to look at those stories. But the problem is that they have too much going on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
I
before
Not
think
not
just,
not
before we
every character is important.
yeah, not every character is important.
yeah.
Yeah, but let's get into I think the second part of what we're gonna talk about. Besides talking about what we loved about RWBY and what we enjoyed about RWBY, this podcast especially, we are not gonna attack anybody or attack anyone or single out anybody for their own opinion or what or matter of fact is we're just people who just like media, and we have the ability to criticize what we watch and what we can watch or cannot watch or we don't watch it. So I'm just gonna leave that as a decent point for everyone, not only in this podcast or people that watch the podcast or listen to it, or any RWBY fan that stumbles upon this video and decides, "Oh, Wynn's a fucking hypocrite. He's a fucking homophobe," shit like that, But besides the point, uh, when we get into some of our favorite things that we love about the show is that you know just creating original stories, creating characters for the show, just creating our own original characters for the show. That was fucking baller. I love that. The character creation for the show is just spot on. I love that.
Yeah, superb. That's superb.
Yes, that was a good shit.
Like giving everyone a chance to be a part of the show by creating their own characters, making role plays, doing all this stuff with the community or fan art even. I have some old fan art from RWBY that I'd done back in the past of original RWBY and original Yang, and I still can't find them, but I'll probably post them at some point. But,
Oof.
but
Yeah, we were in that phase.
Yeah, we were in
We
that phase.
eventually had to be in that phase.
Yeah,
Nope.
we grew out of that phase very quickly. But RWBY D&D, all that stuff, that was fun. That was amazing. It's one of those things where I had the most amount of fun when it comes to RWBY, especially.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Hmm.
and again, like it's just like a cool world to like
Yeah.
explore.
Now for our critiques about the show. This is going to be mostly an opinionated thing, so it's not as perfect. Per se, we're going to start off with you, Kiro, especially. What are your strongest critiques about the show?
I mean, it just kind of got boring. These last few seasons, man, like this shit, like it just didn't draw me in. The battles weren't like there at all. RWBY just had her freaking get out of jail free card with her silver eyes. Like it just kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And what about you, Caldwin? What about you?
Well, to be honest, it just started getting a little too slow for my liking. Like, I mean, yeah, story progress and all that, but can we like speed it up a little bit? Like, you don't have to have like every nitty gritty detail about everything.
Yeah.
That's just my only critique. And also, uh, what was it? Some of the characters, I don't know, like started losing a part, like the part that attracted them in the first place. Some of them were just losing that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can't stop you there on that one.
Yeah,
For me
but
personally, I have a very love-hate relationship with the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
yeah,
things that did happen that kind of turned me away from the show. Specifically, I like to agree with your point, especially Kiro. There's too much between volumes 4 through 7 that turned me away from the show, especially volume 6. That's when that's like my turning point, especially because again with the characters, the fight scenes, the character arcs focusing mostly on story, all that other stuff, that severely impacted my overall opinion of the show as a whole. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, the show back in the day was really good, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people that are going to probably defend the show, definitely, for sure. But as a whole, I can't defend this show anymore because they're trying too much for so little.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't watched any of the new season so far, season 9, or yeah, season 9, right?
Yeah, season yeah,
Yeah,
volume 9.
like I haven't watched any of that just yet, but I think with them like kind of like shoving them into like a just absolutely like isolated place and like new
Yeah.
world kind of thing,
The
I
Ever
feel like
After.
it'd probably be yeah.
Yeah, the Ever After for Volume 9, especially. Spoilers for Volume 9. If you have not seen Volume 9 yet, go and see it. You can get a Crunchyroll subscription, if anything, or otherwise you can just go watch it somewhere else. I ain't gonna tell you where to watch it, but if you have a Crunchyroll subscription, feel free to watch it. But
We do not endorse piracy here,
yeah.
however.
However, we do not endorse
However.
piracy.
However,
I'll wait for a physical copy of the show when it drops on Blu-ray, which that is something else entirely. But with the Ever After, they're trying too much with their world building. They put their whole world building into a separate book, and as you
Oh
probably already
jeez.
know,
Okay.
my issues with adding more lore onto an already pre-existing series, that particular opinion about that, especially when there's already pre-existing lore about it. For example, like case in point, let's talk about Halo, for example. Halo has an extended universe of books that they have. Like, say, for example, from Halos 4 and 5, Halo 3, ODST to Halo 5, the rookie was killed in that book, in the first book for ODST.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest reasons why Buck became a Spartan in this case. But with that especially, there's a big problem with extending that lore because again, there's rewrites, different writers, people that come in and write these books. You have a ton of information. Overloading your reader or overloading your viewer with this information could cause some people to turn away from the show or as a show as a whole. Do you really think a casual fan of the show would go and buy or check out a book and just to read it and just be disappointed at the lore of that book?
Yeah.
I would be pretty disappointed.
yeah,
I mean, seriously, the Fairy Tales book where the Ever After was based off of the Fairy Tales book, which builds off of Volume 9 especially. That particular book right now currently, if you were to purchase it at full price at retail specifically and just giving you just a full like just interpretation of what this book would cost specifically right now. This book costs approximately $15 to $16. Would someone, if you were to buy this on Amazon, if you were to buy this on Barnes & Noble or any other retail, this book would cost around 17 to 20 to 30 bucks for this book, and it's a very tiny book. It's not that long compared to some of the other RWBY books out there or RWBY novels out there. The Before the Dawn and After the Dawn books, those two books are approximately $20 per book, and there's a ton of information in that book, from Team Coffee's experiences to Team Sun to everything like that. But that's besides the point. For me personally, they're just adding too much. If they were to simplify it and make it a little bit easier for the fan to or enjoyer to see it and react to it, instead of trying to turn their gears in their brain a little bit harder than expected. I mean, again, we're gonna get hardcore fans of the show that are gonna peel back every single piece of information. There's no doubt about it. But for a casual viewer, as a whole, there should be an easier way for them to find this information than just to search it up. Or
Yeah, and like also like it is a hard line to like to keep on, but like keeping the main line like story like not need all this additional details and stuff. It's a hard act to yeah.
yeah.
It's a hard bargain. That's one of the biggest reasons why I'm turned off for the show.
Yeah, another thing I want to add to the comment where they just add too much, I should mention is like they're adding too many like turning points. I guess if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
Like, for example, for Volume 9, spoilers, if,
I didn't
I
mention
I
that.
don't I don't
Ruby,
care. I don't care.
well, like, spoilers, for Volume 9, John has a turning point where
Oh
he's starting to
god.
go a little insane. And there's a turning point for Ruby where she's starting to, start to vent. She's starting to lose herself.
Most recent episode, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
I honestly
sorry for.
wish I honestly wish for Ruby to go insane by volume 4 or volume 5 because at least Penny's death would have more of a bigger impact from the 3rd volume instead of the 7th volume or 8th volume even.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest critiques I see mostly is the characters' reactions, you know, and interactions especially. Why doesn't Yang interact more with Ruby? You know, she's her older freaking sister. Even though she's a stepsister, she still is considered an older sibling to Ruby that she looks up to. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah. It doesn't make any
Uh,
sense. And like them their writing for their characters has just kind of
yeah.
it's declined pretty hard. Well, and also like them trying to be like more serious. I think that was like the major turning point. It was like when they tried to be more serious about it, it's like 4 and 5.
For the
Hmm.
they went more of like a gritty style instead of the bright and colorful
Yeah.
style for Ruby
Yeah.
especially, which
In my
Yeah.
opinion, I think they should. I don't mind it being a little more serious, but I think they should have just kept that lighthearted nature
like
volumes 1 and 3 had,
don't get me
or
wrong,
volumes 1 and 2 had.
don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly fine for them going for more dark and gritty route, especially. But when that atmosphere goes from like a high fantasy to like D&D related fantasy, that that type of genre is very noticeable. You know, like you could see it. It's like
Yeah.
those
Mm,
pieces will start to fall apart, and that is something that as a fan you start to see it, you start to notice it. You'll notice it. Even for a casual fan, you'll notice it.
yeah,
And it's something. Like you'll see it and you'll give it a critique and you're just like, what the fuck? Like why did the animation change? Like why is it so fucking terrible, you know? Like that's just it's stupid.
yeah. I also want to add, okay, before I say it, warning for all those for the fandom who's probably going to be on our asses
Oh
or on my
god.
ass
Oh
specifically.
god. Oh no. Oh, I've been dreading this moment, but go ahead, man.
Are you sure you're okay with this?
Sure,
I don't. I'm
I'm
about to
alright
like.
with this.
Okay, so it's the ships. That's one of the bigger
Oh
issues.
no.
They're
Oh
trying to force
god.
it.
Oh god.
Like
Oh god.
they kind of force that. Right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know we're not gonna
And
have this conversation, but we are.
and and spoiler for Volume 9 again.
Again.
Um, Bumblebee is real. It's real.
It's been real, dude. Yeah, like
Like they decide to like Volume
I'm not
9. They just decided
surprised.
to like, hey, let's just do it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Honestly, in my opinion, I will say this: Bumblebee is a marketing tactic for RWBY. There's three reasons. Three reasons why I'm gonna say this. Again. A lot of people have mentioned Bumblebee. Is a fan created ship. They made like a whole tier list of ships. They made a whole bucket of them during Volume 3.
oh jeez.
And that's where Bumblebee
Yeah.
came from because one of the attacks that Ruby shouts is Bumblebee, which is that one of the attacks that Yang and Blake has. So that's how they ended up, creating the ship, Bumblebee in this case. And everyone loves the ship. Everyone loves the ship because Yang and Blake had moments in Volume 3, Volume 2, and 3 that they really, really, really fucking liked. So again, the chemistry is there. Again, some people think it's real, some people think it's not, some people think it's poorly executed, but there's other problems that do come with the story that do impact the ship, of course. Why I believe Bumblebee is considered is a marketing tactic was because right after that episode, they made 2 shirts specifically for Bumblebee. And you know that they're gonna market and try and profit off of it. you know damn well know they're gonna market off the Bumblebee shippers, and I feel bad for them because they wanted this to happen, and it's happened now for them, and now they're gonna get profited from that. I honestly feel bad for them.
It's a tough topic to discuss this because like on one hand like representation is cool and all, but like you need to have it feel like natural.
You need execution.
Yeah.
Execution.
Like,
Yeah, and like this just is like, oh yeah, now they're together. It's like, oh okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I mean,
So
It's like I don't know.
again, like again, for those crazy people, I have nothing against like ships or whatever. I just want it to at least be like Hero said, natural. Like you know, they just build it up
I'm saying this,
correctly.
are you happy now?
Yeah,
Are you
representation
happy?
doesn't take the place of good writing, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Some people just
ships are just so stupid in general. Like,
shipping is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
Yeah.
should have seen what happened to My Hero, especially My Hero Academia had its
Oh,
issues.
don't remind me, man.
God
Don't remind me.
God forbid that the fans attack the actual mangaka for My Hero Academia. That's how bad it got. And especially if you're not around the Bleach community, and if you probably been around the Bleach community for a very long time, you may know the Ichi Hime versus Ichi Rukia situation. That shit was terrible, and it's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's wild.
It's very wild. It's
Yeah. Anyways,
very wild.
shall we
Yeah,
continue
let's
from
move
that
into this
madness?
conversation. But yeah, with it's a marketing tactic, definitely 100%. You know, they're gonna try and profit off of this, which
Yeah.
that's something. It's canon now, apparently. But I'm not.
Anyways, are we gonna continue to our next part or?
Yes. We're gonna go on to the next part. Of course, we have a couple different tier lists, especially that we are gonna consider the fact that RWBY is considered a very, very, very long series. We're gonna be ranking almost the entire series. Oh wait, I haven't mentioned the music. I have not mentioned it. Fuck.
Oh yeah, the music.
Oh yeah, the music is like fire. No
Music
cap,
fire.
it's
Yeah,
fire.
the music is fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it slaps.
Caffeine is baller.
Like,
Caffeine's baller.
like,
I mean, they've had some like
Yeah, some really
like
good bangers.
meh pieces, but like at the same time, like
They got some
Yeah.
bangers.
yeah, like the OC
Like-
can't like all be bangers, but
Yeah.
overall,
Like,
it's
Dude,
solid.
Some of the actual DVDs for RWBY for their songs are like close to $300 now.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, bro.
bruh,
Golly.
Bro. It's something
bruh, them
else.
prices.
Them prices, bro.
Like, I remember like listening to like first time ever of Red Like Roses Part 2. Oh my god, that shit
yeah,
just
that's
made me
good.
ascend.
Oh yeah. My favorite has to be Caffeine. That shit still's banger. That
Caffeine does slap.
Caffeine is
Caffeine does slap.
It is a slapper.
One theme also slaps, like Neil's theme. Like that shit was
Oh,
bopping.
yeah.
I can't deny that.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Man, that's good, bro. All right. So
Man.
I did find a tier list for RWBY for all the seasons plus Ice Queendom. On Ice Queendom, Ice again, like if you probably don't know, Ice Queendom is its own thing. Of course, it's done by the
Oh my
creators
God,
of Kamen Rider Gaiden and Madoka Magica for the animation department, as well as the writers that were done by it. So again, that's freaking sweet. But
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I completely forgot about freaking Ice Queendom, dude.
Bro, you
Bro,
forgot about Ice
I watched like 6 episodes of it, and like I just became uninterested again.
All right. So I have.
I think I think TikTok and stuff is making my like attention span completely just
Yeah,
All right.
it do be like that.
Here we are. Here we have the tier list, y'all. Here we have the tier list.
Okay.
Here we have the tier list. Of course, I'm streaming
All
to
right,
you guys,
all
so you
right.
guys can
Let's
see.
do this.
So we're gonna. So we have. So obviously, I'm gonna change this. So this is gonna be the boys approved, and then this
Yeah.
is shit. Bitch, watch something else. There's something else.
I watch. The only problem with it like is like I feel bad for like missing like anything Ruby because like there's always like that background hope that
That
eventually it will get
eventually
better.
get better.
Yeah.
Eventually, like I
Like,
always hope that like it
Alright.
will eventually get
So
better.
we're gonna start
but-
off with the trailers because the trailers are also listed.
Nice.
Plus Ice Queendom. So we start off with the red trailer. So here's we have the red trailer.
like red, like top tier, no cap.
Yeah, boys approved. That's good. The white trailer.
I think it was very good also. But I'll wait for your guys' opinion.
I say
I'd
it's
say
good.
yeah, it's probably very good. It's
It's very good.
yeah.
Very
I can't I
good,
can't
yeah.
I can't put it on the approved. I can't give it the approval.
The black trailer.
Very
can
good.
I can approve that.
Yeah, you can prove
Honestly.
that. Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah,
might be
okay,
I might
I
be
can
I
live
might
with
be
that.
biased
Might be
though.
biased for Blake. Yeah. The
Well,
yellow
for
trailer.
yellow, well, I'm biased for Yang, so
Yeah.
approved.
Yeah, approved of that one definitely. I can approve it.
And also so like in regards to like fight scenes too, like
White trailer up there.
that's the thing. Like I didn't like the fight as much in the white trailer as I did the other three.
Yeah.
So that's why I said like I couldn't give it my approval. But if you guys, yeah, if you want to put all four of them up there, then
Well,
I
I'm
totally
putting all-
agree.
Yeah, all four of them.
Alright, I can live with that.
We will start off with Volume 1 now, and this will be as an entire series, not necessarily episode by episode, but we're going to go down from what we liked about Volume 1, what we hated about Volume 1 as a whole, as a ranking as a whole.
Hey,
RWBY Volume 1, it was very good for a beginner series. It introduced
Mhm.
characters, introduced the setting, the world of Remnant. It had some pretty decent storytelling, even though as a first season for an anime or show, you typically want to build your story. You typically want to build your world and build your characters on top of that. This season was a very good season. I don't think it's perfect. There are some things that do come as a weakness when it comes to Volume 1, especially with characters like Jean, Cardin, Roman Torchwick, especially. He kind of just felt kind of like your stereotypical bad guy, which, again, I do love, but kind of hate at the same time.
Yeah.
Weiss was also kind of one of the biggest issues I had with the volume. Even though I love the white trailer, I did not like Weiss in the first half. She kind of felt she was the stereotypical bitch, and I don't like characters like that. Personally.
I guess, I mean,
a lot more, but that's just me.
yeah.
What about
Yeah,
you
so
guys?
like, why is, yeah, I know her attitude was an issue, but for me, I guess it was just like that starting point, I guess. She starts off snobby, and then eventually she'll learn to get over that.
Yeah, especially with
Yeah.
introducing like like the White Fang, especially. It kind of fell off a little bit, and I am gonna give Volume 1 a very good. It's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
I can
concur.
prove.
I do concur. It is very good. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's perfect, but it's good.
Nah.
That's good.
Pretty much after the Emerald Forest, I think they kind of like fell off a little bit, and then
Yeah.
once it got to the end, then it ended it off pretty good.
Yeah. Volume 2 of RWBY.
I put that in very good also. I ain't gonna lie, it had its moments. I can't deny that.
Yeah. I mean, Volume 2 as a whole, I really, again, biased by me, I really love Volume 2, especially the outcome of Volume 2. Especially with Team Coffee, wow, that was fantastic. It hit off really good with Ending Point. Honestly, with the white, it connected everything. The White Fang, Team RWBY, Team Juniper, Team Coffee, the professors too. That slapped hard. It slapped hard. Great.
Hey, don't forget about that prom arc.
Yeah, the prom art. Yeah, I love that. That was great. That hit hard. That hit hard. I
I
love
don't
the
know.
dance. That hit hard.
Volume two is kind of weird in my eyes because like I feel like not a lot happens. Like if you think about it, like from the beginning to end, like it kind of just like ends at like the same point. If you like kind of think about
Yeah,
it,
I can understand where you're coming from. So yeah,
like that's just story wise though. Like content wise, like
Content-wise,
this was one of the better one of the better seasons or volumes. I'm sorry, I've been saying
yeah.
seasons, volumes.
So what's our verdict? I'll put this in very good.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good. Yeah.
yeah,
Volume 3. Oh.
Yeah, this is where the shit kicked
I
in.
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Volume 3 gets the boys approved. Oh
yeah.
god.
I'll put it's approved. But the only
Approved.
thing, the only critique that I have is like it was just kind of like a tournament arc
Yeah.
for like
Yeah,
the most
Tournament
part.
arcs in
But
general, typically for most anime, just sucked. I think the best tournament arc, especially, was Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter. Those are
yeah, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho have some of the best tournament arcs. I mean, it's done by Togashi. Togashi's good at tournament arcs. He's great. He's great. He's good.
right.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Moving
Volume
to Volume
4.
4. All right, here we go. Volume 4.
I have mixed feelings about this
I
one.
have personally, I enjoyed the middle half of Volume 4. I personally do enjoy the slower atmosphere of it, but again, introducing of Tyrion was a really good refresher, and we got backstories for both Ren and Nora, which is pretty solid.
And
Yeah.
we got like growth development also for like Sean. Also, he was getting there.
He was getting there, yeah. I give it a solid meh or
Wait,
low.
volume four. Volume four was when they fucked up his hair, right?
No,
Or was
that was
no? That
Volume
was no.
7.
I'm sorry. No, that's volume
That
seven.
was
Never
Volume
mind. Never
7,
mind.
bro.
We're still good. We're still
Yeah.
good.
We're still good, man.
Okay, so what would you agree? Very good? Do we agree on Matt or very good?
I'm on the mix of the two.
I'm gonna say meh. I'm gonna say meh.
I'm putting Matt also.
Yeah.
I mean,
Volume
it
5. Here we go.
Oh god,
Oh god, here we go. Oh god.
no. Honestly, that's where I fell out. Like Volume 5 is when I just like decided I'm out.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll put it
So
in
it
the
was,
mid tier.
yeah,
didn't really
meh.
see-
And like,
We didn't really see anything besides the maidens for Volume 5, especially. We don't really see that.
yeah.
Volume
Yeah.
6.
Again,
That's a
I
shame.
didn't watch it at all, so I don't have no right to judge. I guess in some aspect.
My opinion, it's terrible.
was this volume that Adam
Yes.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
such a waste, such a freaking waste of a character.
Uh, like with Adam, I thought he was cool, but over time, I just saw him as a clingy bastard.
Yeah. He kind of just fell. He fell from like I want to reform the world to I want my girlfriend back.
Yeah,
Character.
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
such
Oh,
a
wait, before we head on to the next one, I want to remember. I remember that scene where they show the white Fang leader just get bodied the moment he was introduced.
that was so stupid.
I did like I did like the part. I believe they went against the Grim that sucked out Will from its victims.
Was that this volume?
That was this volume, yes.
Okay, yeah. That was pretty cool. That was a cool concept.
Cool concept. I liked it.
Um, if I remember, there was another Silver Eyes in that
Yeah,
in that
at,
volume
at the
specifically.
end, it was solved with freaking Silver Eyes again with like the what was it, the giant like freaking kaiju looking
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grim,
yeah. God, I can't even remember.
and also
the name at this point.
that stupid mech too.
Yeah,
Um,
that's terrible.
Yeah,
All right, Volume 7.
Oh God, Volume 7.
Yeah, nah. They fucked up John's hair, man. What the hell is that?
yeah. They fucked up my boy's hair, bro.
Yeah, we all messing with John's hair, bro.
Okay,
Like, bro.
one thing, the only thing I say we're good at, I guess, was like, I guess upgrades wise, like
Upgrades are
upgrades and
fun.
equipment wise, I
Upgrades are
guess.
fun. I might put this in a meh, but But
No, honestly, it was kind of shit in my opinion.
Volume 8, better,
Uh,
slightly
Yeah,
better, slightly better. We're getting there. We're getting there.
if I remember, that's when Ironwood decided to go Tyrant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and another waste of an absolutely like brilliant character
brilliant
that they could have
character,
done a lot with.
especially with they made trenches. They didn't even use the fucking wall as their advantage point in tower defensing.
Um, if I remember, they decided to make Penny the Winter Maiden, and then like, you know what? Let's go back to
Kill her
Winter.
again. Let's go back to
Was
Volume 3 and fuck up RWBY again. Let's do that.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's meh, but better than Volume 4,
I
better than
guess.
Volume 5, better
I mean,
than Volume 7,
I guess
and Volume
like
6.
for through volume 7, 8. I guess I kind of like the political aspect, like you know, like political good, political bad, all that shit. I
Yeah.
can't deny that. Like, all right.
Mhm.
Anyways, continue.
Okay. Volume 9, halfway part.
Okay,
So this
not
volume
finished.
so this volume is not finished yet. We don't really know what really, how the season's going to end. But as a
Yeah,
whole, I'm thinking this is going to go in the meh tier or shit tier.
yeah.
For three
No,
reasons.
I say meh. So far, it's really building up to the point where I guess they're giving Ruby and John, I guess, big moments.
Big
I guess
moments.
so. I put it meh.
Put it in meh, but we don't really know how the ending of this volume is going to go until right after.
Like,
Until after this
to be
volume.
honest, if Rooster Teeth screws this up, I'm done. I can't handle it.
I tell you, man, I've been done with it, but I'm just here ranking it with you guys. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
me, I just watch it just for fun, and it's just like that slight hope I have, like, in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just cleaned them. Goddamn. Like, again, I have no fucking idea what's it about.
all right, ice
Like,
cream.
I heard about it, but I haven't.